Hello and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to lower the ride height of my Mini Cooper S because I have the KW version 2 suspension, and while I really like how it's driving, I think that it would look a little bit better if I lowered it just a little bit. So far I've been really impressed with the suspension. I've taken the Mini up a couple of mountain roads already, as you've probably seen in the past couple of videos, and it's proven to be really good, especially compared to the lowering springs that I was driving earlier. So compared to that, this is a fine upgrade, and I think it would look just a bit better if I lowered it, so that is what I'm going to do in this video. Now, I'm not going to adjust the rebound of the springs at all, because I don't find it necessary at this moment. I think the settings I have right now are perfect, though I couldn't tell you exactly what settings they are. I think they're relatively hard clicks. I mean, it's more hard than soft, and if you do want a recommendation for the Mini Cooper S, I would definitely say at least have the front harder than the back. But that's really the only thing. I can't tell you exactly which settings I have right now. So yeah, let's start. So how I'm going to tackle this is I'm going to start by adjusting the rear and then the front, because I think in the rear I have a little bit less leeway than in the front, so it makes sense to start off in the back and then move to the front. And what I'm going to do is probably lower it by around maybe 10 millimeters, maybe 15. I'll see how much space I really have. And I'm going to do exactly those 10 or 15 millimeters on all four wheels, so front and back, because I think that way my alignment will still be fine and I should have no trouble with the corner weights whatsoever, because it should just still be exactly the same as before, just a bit lower. Yeah, so let's get started. First I'm going to take off the rear wheel. Just real quick, this is the tool that I will be using. KW does provide you with this tool. It's just the adjustment spanner. And if you were to change the rebound, this is the tool you would do it with. So I'm not going to be using this today, but yeah, it is there if you want to use it. I'm going to measure this distance between the bottom of the, I think it's called a perch, this violet part, and here, so the end of this part. And to me it looks like it's exactly 35 millimeters. So if I want to lower it by around 15 millimeters, then I will open this part by opening this little nut inside here, this little port, and then twisting it down with the tool that I just showed you up until probably around here somewhere. So maybe until it shows exactly 25 millimeters. So that's the plan for now. Okay, I think that's pretty much good. I think I'm going to leave it quite like this. And now I'm just going to tighten back this part here. Okay, just to show you what it looks like from the front. As you can see, you can't really adjust anything from here. You have to grab from underneath. And what I adjusted is just the space between the bottom of this perch. I hope you can see the bottom of this perch and the bottom of the coil. So we've increased this distance, so how far this goes down. Looks to me like a bit more than 3.5 centimeters. So I'll just lower that to 2.5 or maybe 2. It's lower, but not by much. It will be a while until I'm finished. Okay, that looks to me like 2.5. So now I just have to decide whether I want to keep that height or go lower, because then I'll have to change the other side again. Yeah, I think we'll go lower. Should we do another 5? Like another 5mm? I think so. Let's do another 5. Okay. Okay, so I've screwed it down about pretty much exactly 10mm on the left rear, but it doesn't look like it's low enough. So this side, the right rear, I just lowered by 15mm, just about. So yes, I'm going to check how it looks on this side and then lower the other part again for 5mm, and then we'll see what it looks like, or if I would actually have to lower it by more. But I think I'm going to do the fronts then first to see how it looks in relation. So yeah. Okay, so I have adjusted both sides now so that they're exactly 15 millimeters lower than before. I think it will still settle, so I'm not sure. Yeah, I think it will still settle, so that is why if I measure the ride height now, it's not exactly 15 millimeters lower than before. But I will change the fronts as well now, and then later I will measure and see if everything is the same height, but it should be fine. Also, one more thing, I noticed that it's not necessary to take down the wheel entirely. I thought at first it was necessary, but it makes sense because you just have more space, but you can absolutely do it by just lifting just jacking the car up, and then you will have space from behind to change the height. It's a little bit uncomfortable, but it works fine. Okay, as you can tell, the fronts could be lowered by quite a bit more. This entire thread could be jacked down all the way to here. But I won't, because I find that's too much. Instead, I will just do around 15 millimeters, so probably around, I don't know, here. But I'll measure it out, and then we'll see. How am I supposed to measure that? Okay, my traditional measurement tool does not work, so we're doing this more precisely. Okay, that should be about 52 millimeters, so minus 15. I'm just going to rotate this down until it's 37 millimeters of thread left. That is 37 exactly. So there we go. So you can see that part of the thread is now a bit lower, so the perch is pretty much in the middle. That's a difference of 15 millimeters, and we're going to leave it at that. Okay, so I may have done an oopsie, and I do want to record it. So you see, now that I have put the wheel back on, there is no more space between the spring and the tire. Like, I'll show you. You can't really see it, but this spring is pretty much up against the wheel. As you can see, I cannot even put a piece of paper between the wheel and the spring. And this is the lowest part with the perch that I've just lowered here, these 15 millimeters. So before it was around up here. And I don't know if that's really, if that means that the maximum I can lower this spring, this coilover, is at the level that it already was. Okay, so I've done an oopsie basically, and unfortunately I've already done it on both fronts. Now there is no issue with the back. However, as you just saw in that clip before, there is no clearance between the wheel and the perch of the suspension. So the lowest part that we just lowered on the thread basically. And I suspect that it is because of the wheel. Unfortunately, the wheel just doesn't leave enough space. And yeah, it sucks. To be honest, I've just done an oopsie, that's all I did. I made a mistake. And I still wanted to film this though, because it's part of having a car and part of working on it is to make mistakes. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just reversing, lowering the fronts. But I'm not going to change the rear, because I'm going to try and find out what exactly the wheel specs have to be to still fit with the suspensions for this not to happen. Okay, so now I have reversed what I've done before basically, and it's now back to the way it was. So as you can see, it's pretty high up. And just to clarify what I meant by it's the issue of the wheel. So basically, when you look from the side, this is basically the offset of the wheel. But the offset of this wheel is 48, which means that the inside here is rather far outward, and the outer part of the rims is at the same, or pretty much flush with the inside, with the hub. And that means that the inside, so this part, is closer to the entire suspension than it could be. I find it strange that this is not mentioned anywhere, especially on the KW site, because they do have all these special variants for all these special models of cars, but they don't explain at all that, especially for Mini, because I asked my friends about it and they said that yes, in fact, you need to have a pretty low offset on your wheels for this to work. I don't understand why it's not communicated at all. Yeah, there's not a lot of space. So I guess now we know. If there's one thing we can learn from this video, then it is that the offset of 48, in German it's ET48, is too high. Yeah. Okay, so I have now finished everything completely. I have reversed the two front suspensions to the original they were before, so they are now not lowered, unfortunately. The rears, however, are lowered because they have no issues in terms of spacing. And I think the maximum you can do is 37. According to a friend of mine, he has 37, because at that point he says it becomes difficult to have enough space and to not touch the walls if you turn the wheel. So this is what the back looks like now. So it's definitely lower than before. Still not crazy. So I've only lowered it by 15 millimeters. So yeah, to me it looks good now, but obviously if the front was lower it would look better. I'm not going to leave it like this, obviously. I'm considering buying not brand new, but I'm considering getting new wheels now, because you know, it's an excuse. But we'll see. Maybe if you have any recommendations for cool wheels, or if you know which ones fit, then please let me know. And other than that, see you next time. Thank you for watching, and bye!